Welcome to this week's episode of Automotive Weekly. We're back working on the Subaru today, which we're really excited about, and we got a couple new faces. Well, you guys have seen this face before. So you guys remember Andrew Clark. He's our social media manager, and he's here helping us out today. And if names weren't going to be confusing enough, this is also Andrew. This is Andrew Lillard. He's a good friend of ours that also likes working on cars. So we're going to be working on the brakes today, which is really exciting. We got some new calipers and some new rotors. Here's one of the old rotors. That's one of the new ones, and one of the old calipers, and one of the new ones. So this thing has had an issue where it just doesn't want to stop, and all the rotors are warped. So we just need to get them replaced. So we're just gonna go hop on in and knock this sucker out. Let's get to it. One of the biggest things about getting your brakes done is you gotta take your wheels off first. A lot of people don't know that. Also, power tools make it a lot easier, which is pretty fun. So Subaru brakes are some of the easiest things to work on. Basically, you got a total of 4 bolts, and then one thing that they like to do is they have holes in the rotors where you can actually just put a screw into it and the whole thing will pop out. So it's not going to be too difficult to get all this off. So yeah. There we go. There's gonna be a lot of grunting noises in this. Man, I'm gonna have to edit all it. Yeah. It's really all you need.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
You do not want your brake pads to get this low, because then your car doesn't stop. And if you're wondering which side is the one that's on the caliper, or that's actually, like, that's where the caliper is, that's the brake pad. There is no brake pad, it's just metal. So don't do that, that's bad. Get rid of it. Our new ones are beefy, like a sandwich. The other thing too, don't use a screwdriver if you're pulling these off normally, because the only reason we're doing it that way is because these rotors are going away because they're gross looking. So, fun fact. And now, the piece de resistance. Get that crap out of there. Look how gross that looks. So, alright. On to the next things. Where's my mallet? E-brakes off?
Yes, sir. I've never seen rotors designed like this.
Yeah. It should.
What? Right?
Because the biggest issues behind these cars is the way these rotors are designed. This inner ring right here gets all rusty, and it rusts to the hub. So by using that screw, it just basically, that's where it was right there, that little blip. That's where it just tightens it up and pushes it out, so that way you don't have to hit it with the hammer like I did. I did that anyway just to see if I can shake off some of that rust. So get some brake cleaner. I'm just gonna kind of clean some of that in there up. The way you do this is you get it so it's tight before you engage the parking brake. When you do engage the parking brake, it's there. So you may be wondering, what's the benefit of running drilled and slide brakes versus these kind of brakes that are not? So we're just gonna set that down. So back in the day, brake pads were made with a compound that released a gas that would basically put a small layer of gas between the brake pad and the rotor, and that could cause it to not be as efficient at braking. So what some manufacturers and a lot of racing teams did is they drilled holes in it. Now this has a bunch of benefits, but the problem is modern brake pads are now a lot more efficient, so they don't emit as much of that gas. So drilled right now, you'll see a lot of manufacturers like Mercedes-Benz still does this, but they do it more for looks than anything, just because the problem with running drilled like that is these are more prone to cracking if it's under some heavy braking. Now the slots, these are something that actually is really good for racing because it gives that extra little bit of bite. So when you're pushing the brakes really hard, the brakes are actually going to over push and basically latch onto that and wear it down. Now the benefit is you slow down quicker, but the thing that sucks about it is then you go through more brake pads, which on a racing car is not a problem. On this car, we're wanting to do some towing with it, so we wanted to have some slotted ones so that way we could actually, pull a trailer and slow down quicker. So that's the kind of quick version. Engineering Explained has a really good, more in-depth version that you can go check out on his channel. So you may have heard about these terms like DOT3, DOT4, and maybe even DOT5, and it is very important to make sure that you know what is supposed to go in your car. So this car is a 2001, so it came with DOT3 originally. Now we can run DOT4 or even DOT5 in it if we do an entire flush. And basically they just have a lot of, basically the difference is they have a higher boiling point and a couple other different factors, but we're sticking with DOT3 specifically for this application. So one thing that's a little bit interesting about these cars is they come with a 2-pot in the front and a 1 in the rear. And what that is the number of pistons that you see here on the inside. So why is that important? Well, on a lot of performance cars, you'll see them going upwards of 4 and sometimes, depending on them, I think I've even seen 6 pots. And basically, or pistons, whatever you want to call it, it's just the amount of brake force that's being exerted on it and based off of these. So the more pistons there are, the more, the better the bite. So we're gonna go ahead and put the rears on and finish on it up. It feels like it's got the same consistency of like toothpaste.
Oh.
Kind of what?
So you're basically
No. It's very important that once this is done that we bleed the brakes, because otherwise air bubbles can get trapped in there, and that basically means you won't have all the stopping power, and it can actually be very bad for your system. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Brake on. So I think that's it for tonight. We're all pretty tired and we're out of sunlight, and it's like, what, 9:30 or something like that. So it ended up working out really well though. The rear brakes look really good, and the e-brake is much more responsive now, which I'm super excited about. So we'll get it out on the road later and try it out, but for now, we'll see you later. So welcome back. When we left off, we got the rear part of the car done, and you saw probably the time lapse of the front part. But we still left one rotor because it ended up getting to be about close to 11 o'clock, and all of us have real jobs too that we have to go and do. So we went and did that. So we came back the next day and got the front right one done, got it all bled out. Had a little issue that we had to deal with, but we ended up fixing that just fine. And as you can tell, we're driving in it now. So it actually works really well. Man, these brakes are so smooth and they're really bitey. So I'm very glad we did this. And whenever we end up pulling a trailer, this will be definitely a good thing to have. So I'm very excited about that. So thanks for watching till the end though. If you haven't done so already, like, comment, subscribe. As Randy says, smash the like button. Don't forget to hit the little notification bell too. But we'll be back next week with another fun video, and I guess we'll just see you then. Hope you have a great rest of your day.